Good morning, Bright Star students. It is Bright Star mornings. Okay, now it's time for your every Saturday morning 30 seconds of me figuring out how to share things on Facebook. Oh, here it comes. Quicker this time. Feeling good? Feeling good? Live now. Boosh. Okay. All right, 30 seconds. That's a new record. And now it's time for the prerequisite smoothing of things. Okay. And actually, so what's cool about Facebook Live, at least the way that I do it on Chrome, is it does give me like some time to like mess around and futz around with the lighting and the, so I get to see myself before I go live. And I spent like a lot of time today, like messing around. And my lighting, like where I record is just a lighting disaster. Like, I'm sorry, guys. I'm not a professional. I'm just a regular person with a regular house and regular equipment. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not a beautiful YouTuber. Like, this is real. And then I had like a total light fail because my lamp, which is right here, and this lamp, which y'all can't see, has been with me since like college days, okay? It's a little janky. There's a little super glue. And it just like broke. like it's got like 3 lamps on it, and it just was like one of them just like broke. So I think it's time. Like there's a sticker on here from the move of when I went to, like, I think when I went from Ohio to Kansas, because this lamp is like so janky. So my janky lamp is like, it's like, stop, Evelyn, stop using me, I'm done. Okay. so anyway, so that's lamp talk. Mug talk time. So today's mug is from Lake Quinault Lodge. And you know what? Christmas season's over, so there's no more peppermint mocha in the cup. There's just regular mocha because I like flavored coffee. So Lake Quinault is out on the peninsula. I had a great vacation there. Went to Lake Quinault and Lake Crescent. Lake Quinault, I got this beautiful mug. Lake Crescent, I got a t-shirt. So maybe one of these I will be wearing the t-shirt from Lake Crescent. But it was a great week, and like, honestly, I should do that again. It was a nice little road trip. Like, it was very chill. Recommend it for anybody. So the topic of today is going to be about goals, because it's been goal setting week. But before I jump into the topic of the day, I want to acknowledge, because today's a kind of an important, or at least a deep day for me, and this is the anniversary of when my mom passed away. So a lot of you guys know that I lost my mom back in 2016. What happened was kind of a crazy, well, to me, it's like, when I think about it, it's like a crazy story, because so my mother, my father, and my niece, whose father, my brother, passed away in 2014. So I mean, like, our family has been through it over the last like 5 years. Anyway, they came here for Christmas of 2015, and they all came here because they lived back in Ohio. They all came to the Pacific Northwest, and then we flew down to Hawaii, and we had Christmas in Hawaii, and then we flew back here, had New Year's here, and then she flew back home. And like a few days after that, my mother suffered an acute aortic dissection, and basically she passed like basically right then. They were trying to fix it, and it just burst. But the actual, it's weird. What's weird about losing a family member in this way, because unfortunately I've had to do it now twice, is that like when they died is a little bit like, when was it? Was it when the thing happened, or was it when they were like declared gone, And so, but January 11th, I think, is where we ended up, that was when like all the tests confirmed, like, yes, your mom is gone. And like, I guess I want to talk a little bit about going through that process today, just so that you guys, I don't know, I like to share. I don't know what to say. Like, in some ways I feel like having gone through these losses is awful and horrible for me, but on the other hand, because I'm able to speak about it, so I went through a lot of group therapy. So if you're asking yourself, wow, she's able to just tell this story just fine. Yeah, so there's a group here in Seattle called the Healing Center. Fantastic group support. Okay. And so I've been like, I don't go to a support group as much, but like I have told that I've been in group, and so like it helps you to be able to talk about it. And because I feel like, it can help people to share. And so, the experience of losing my mom was like really intense, because she and I mean, she was like my best friend. at that time, she was like my best friend. I was the type of person who called my mom every day on the way to work. Like, even though I was 32 or something at the time, 31, 32 years old, didn't matter. I was a mama's girl. Like, I was calling my mom, like, and she was a great woman. Like, Janice Cash was a great woman. Like, I could tell her anything. We could talk about anything. So losing her was a huge hit to me, huge hit. But I just remember, like, I actually, like, because I have years and years of Zen practice, a lot of the way that I got through that time was just being very grounded in mindfulness. So when you guys hear me talk about mindfulness practice and connecting with your breath, like, it is coming from a place of having gone through some real life issues with that. It's not just I read it in a book or I went to 1 or 2 retreats. Like, no, I had to use this. And like, one of the most intense times was actually looking at my mom's like MRI result, or you know, I can't remember, it was a brain scan result. And like, I told the doctor, I was like, I want to see it. You know, I'm an engineer, I can handle data. Like, show me the data, show me what's going on. And it was very surreal to look at that and like absorb that and know that that's your loved one. You know, this, like, looking at the regions of the brain that were no longer functioning and things like that. It's just like, seeing that was like, she's gone. You know, it gave me a very clear message that she's gone, you know? And so from there, it's just like being present with that. Like, how do you sit through that fire and get through it? And the only way to sit through it, honestly, that I found was to just stay grounded in myself, in my, you know, my body, like feel my body and feel my breath. Like, that's it. Like, I have nothing. And I know some people are very, you know, spiritual and they find other ways, but like, for me, it was very much a grounding thing of like, I just had to go one step at a time. There's this part in Frozen 2. I think we're far enough from Frozen 2 where we can talk about spoil. I mean, it's Frozen 2, guys. Like, it's Frozen 2. But there's a part in Frozen 2 where, like, I'm sure in the movie theater people are like, wow, this woman's getting emotional. Where like Anna has like given up everything. And so she, you know, she's like in a fetal ball holding on to like this bag that used to be Olaf. And she just starts this song that's like really depressed. But like, it's true. You just do the next right thing. Like, that's all you can do. Just one step at a time, get through it. Like, that's the only way to get through it. So anyway, I wanted to acknowledge what the day is and just say that, like, you know, it's on my mind today. It's on all my family's mind today. And share a little bit about like how I got through that. I'm sure, you know, over the course of this blog and this site, I will be talking more about that. I've already made one post about it. So I'm sure it comes up a lot. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. But the main topic of the day, which I will write down, is goals. Which it feels like a total change. It is a total change. It just happened to be that it fell on today. So setting smarter goals. So this week, I think last week I mentioned that all through the month, I'm doing a series on like establishing a routine. With a fitness routine is sort of the example, but really this works for any kind of a routine. It works for a meditation routine. It works for if you want to learn how to play an instrument, you know, all of those things. I've used these same sort of tactics and these same sort of techniques. And so week 1 was all about setting smarter goals. And so, you know, I will put links in the comments of this Facebook Live, and then I'll put when I post this to YouTube tomorrow, I will add, you know, links to the various posts and YouTube videos and stuff on this topic that I've made. So the way that I like to, like the framework that I like to use when setting goals is that SMART framework. I find that it can be like it's a good mental exercise. I'm not saying that you have to, like, if you don't do it this way, your goals are going to suck. Like, it's not that way. It's more like this is a good exercise for going through the process of setting goals. So I want to, with the Facebook Live today, I'm going to go over those things in a little bit more. I'm going to unpack them a little bit more than I did in the YouTube video, because I like to keep my YouTube videos to 5 to 10 minutes, because look, I see the back end of my analytics on YouTube. First of all, I don't get that many views. Second of all, people watch for 2 minutes and they're out. And like, I get it. I get it. So on the YouTube, I get in, I get out. But here on Facebook Live, on Mug Talk time, you know, Bright Star Mornings, this is our time to chat. So I can always also just not talk about this, but this is what I had, you know, queued up. So SMART is an acronym that stands for specific, measure, actually, why don't we just write that down? Specific, if I could spell, there we go. No, I still can't. Guys, I can't. There we go. I wrote it down ahead of time. Measurable, achievable. Hey, Freddie. That's my brother. Time-based. So there's SMART, right? SMART goals. That's the acronym. And so, like I said, I want to kind of unpack each one of those. So specific, let's start with the first one. You got to have a specific goal. Okay, guys, like people say, I want to get healthier in 2020. I want to do yoga in 2020. Like, what does that mean? Like, especially the get healthier one, like pick something. Say like, I want to lose. Yeah, hey, Fred. You know, I want to lose X many pounds. I want to get to this body fat. So for me, back when I was kind of doing the health stuff, I had a very specific body fat goal because I went to this conference. They took my body fat. It was like way too high in my opinion. And so I was like, I'm going to lose, you know, I think I wanted to go from 31% body fat, which I know some people are 31% body fat, and that's fine. I'm just saying for me, I didn't want that. I wanted to go from 31% body fat down to like 20 or 22. I can't remember. This was back in 2009. So I had a specific goal is my point. I also had a weight goal that I was kind of targeting too, but like the real thing was the body fat, and I had a way to measure it and things like that, which goes to number 2, measurable. So if your goal is not measurable, how do you know when you hit it, right? So another goal I had at that same time, so I was doing 2 things at the same time. I was trying to lose weight and I was trying to increase my cardio. So my specific goal was to be able to run a 5K for the entire duration of the 5K. So that's measurable, right? Like a 5K is 3.1 miles. Can I actually run 3.1 miles without stopping? That's measurable. And they have all these wonderful Couch to 5K programs. Like they're easy to find. Like I don't even have to link any. And this was so long ago, like I'd have to go back and find mine. But you know, those give you ways to measure that goal. So when I was learning guitar, for example, it was the same kind of thing. Like I wanted to be able to play a certain song. So I had to learn all the chords that go with that song, right? So that's measurable. Do you know all the chords? Can you hit all those chords? Can you make the transitions, right? Those are measurable things. And if it's not measurable, again, you don't know when you've done it. Uh-oh. I think this has never happened before that I've been live and my daughter has showed up. Yeah. Hold on. Hey. That was different. That has never happened, which is hilarious. Like I've always expected it to happen, but it's never happened. So there you go. We made it. We made it. So I think I was on number 2, which was measurable. And like, it sucks because I had like several people watching that are probably like, oh, who probably are gone, but that's okay. Here we go. And so if you're watching this on the YouTube, I'm probably going to edit those 2 parts together. So you're going to see like a cut. So let's see. I was on measurable. So yes, the goal has to be totally measurable. If it's not measurable, then you don't know when you've succeeded at it. So you've got to have a measurable goal. You've got to have something that you're going towards and that you can like work your way towards and that you can measure from there. The A, so that's right. So we're on SMART goals, just so you guys remember. SMART, oops. Which, by the way, that whole like, you know, chaos of like a kid coming in and, you know, this is life. Like, this is life. And I'm not gonna, you got to roll with it. Like, that's one of my big lessons too, is you just got to roll with things. And, you know, sometimes it happens like that. So, you know, but anyways, so she was upset about this sensory putty getting stuck on her pants, which, okay, that makes sense. So Luis has her now and is taking care of her. So anyways, so the next one is achievable. That's where I think I left off. I did measurable pretty much, and then I want to talk about achievable. So it's important that the goal is achievable, and the hardest thing with setting an achievable goal is actually knowing what you can achieve, because the whole point of having a goal is the fact that okay, hold on. I'm still getting messages and stuff. Okay. So anyways, so achievable. If your goal is not achievable, you'll get discouraged with it, is what happens. So with the achievable part, the hardest part of that is deciding like what's achievable for you versus what's not achievable. That's where I always struggle, because like the whole reason you have a goal is because you want to get to something that you don't currently have, right? So when I set the goal to do a 5K, I couldn't run a 5K. So how do I know that it's even achievable? How do I know that I can do a thing that I've never done before? The best way, honestly, that I found is set smaller, like sub goals, and see if you can hit those little small goals. Like also do some sort of like, I'll say, you know, check in the beginning. So when I set out to do the 5K, I tried it first. I tried to run for like 30 minutes, 35 minutes to see like, okay, where am I? And I found that I couldn't do it. I couldn't do a 5K, but I knew that it was achievable because I had tried it out. I got on the treadmill, set the timer for 45 minutes, and I was able to stay on the treadmill and stick through it. So that's what you got to do. You got to kind of see, and you got to be careful not to set the goal too high, because if it's too high and you fail, you'll be super discouraged. You'll be super discouraged. So lastly, or no, not lastly, the next one is relevant, which I made a specific post specifically on relevant goals, because if the goal isn't relevant to you, you're not going to do it. Like if you're doing it for somebody else, you're not going to do it. And I really want to take a moment to talk about relevant goals, because as a leader, so I'm a leader in my company. As a leader, you need to make the company's vision relevant to your team. So when you're setting goals for an organization or a team, you got to figure out a way, how do you fit in? And even when you are part of a bigger team, how can you be relevant? Like, how can you understand how your goals fit in with the overall, where the company or whatever wants to go, right? So that is the key, is you got to make sure that the goal matters to you, because if it doesn't, you won't do it. As long as you're doing a goal for somebody else, as long as you're working for somebody else, and not something you care about, you won't complete it. So relevant is key. And then lastly, time-based. Having a goal, having a time frame for your goal is critical, because otherwise, again, you don't know what you're doing. So like, for example, on my site here, I have a January goal, right? I have like, I want to do this in January. What I'm going to do in February, I'm still kind of working out, but I have a time-based goal, you know? And so it doesn't have to be a year. That's the other aspect. I was thinking about this earlier this month, is you don't have to be 2020. And sometimes I think a year is too much. Like I like weekly goal. I like daily, weekly, and monthly, and seasonal. So 3 months is about as good as I can do. After that, things just get too murky. I mean, you see, I live in like a very chaotic like environment. Like I don't know what's going to happen. So I can't, you know, I can't plan for that. So for me personally, I like to keep my time-based goals to about 3 months. All right. Well, even with the little interruption, it's about 8:20, so it's usually when I like to wrap it up. Yeah. Let me edit this. Yeah. So we had a little interruption there, but again, that's life. I've got a little kid. I think there was a miscommunication, so you know, it happens. Next time we'll make sure that it's real clear. So anyways, thanks guys. I mean, this is the 10th one of these, I think. So I've been doing this every week for a while now. It's pretty exciting. Thanks guys. See you next time. Bye.